All right, guys, we are back with this week's weekly breakdown. We finally slowed down to a manageable pace. Not to say that we don't have updates still coming through. In fact, I created this list yesterday. We've had 7 since yesterday. But the updates are a little bit more concentrated and, again, a little bit easier for me to cover, which means I should be able to go back and kind of go through some of the newest updates and most powerful updates. Not newest updates, but the most powerful and most impactful updates. I should be able to go back through some of those, create some videos that dive into those a little bit deeper. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first update that I want to go over is this new Ask AI experience. Now, Ask AI has been a little bit confusing lately. I have heard from I've heard from a lot of our clients that they can access Ask AI from within their app, but they can't access it on the desktop. I think that's the way it's supposed to work right now. I think if you have AI employee, or you are an agency user or admin, that you will be able to access Ask AI on the desktop. What is changing and what's causing some confusion is that I think anybody can access Ask AI on their phone. So something to look out for. I'm not super impressed, honestly. They're adding more features to Ask AI. I see the vision of it. The execution is sloppy at best and half-baked at worst. If we look at this, this is the one thing that has happened. There's been a couple updates. Okay, so there's a new Ask AI experience. It says it is nice. They do kind of summarize, like, when you ask a question, it kind of breaks down the steps that are involved in that question. Specifically on the mobile app, that looks pretty nice. I've demoed that recently, a couple weeks ago, I believe. But in the actual desktop app, there's a couple of features that I just don't think are quite ready yet. So email campaign creation, for example. Let me see if I can show, if I go into the history, this is a cool feature. Being able to access my previous searches is cool. But if I come in here, you can see, write an email to promote my new loan program. It says, what is the business name you want to display? I put my client's business name. Let's get started. First, what type of lead magnet do you want to create? I never said I wanted to create a lead magnet, for one. And so that kind of makes it hard to answer this question. I wasn't necessarily intending on doing that. So I say a free home buying strategy review. Great. Now that we have an idea of what we're creating, what do you want the title of your lead magnet to be? And then it gives examples that have contextually make zero sense to the example that I gave them, or to the lead magnet that I gave them, which I think is kind of frustrating and annoying. So then I just capitalize everything and I say free home buying strategy review. This is, what do you think is the biggest challenge? This is very templated. These were the same questions every time I tried this out. So again, they're promoting this new feature to be able to create email campaigns from directly inside of Ask AI. It is not ready. Now, if you go into marketing, we went through this before, if you go into marketing and you go into emails and you use this email AI builder. I'm not sure why. I don't think create campaign. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you have to go to templates. So I can create with AI a template. I can now say in here an email promoting my new loan program for first-time home buyers with no down payment and a at least a 600 credit score. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do this and show you kind of, what it's gonna bust out. It'll take a little bit of time here, but we'll come back to this. The end result of this is a lot better than if you go through Ask AI. So just be aware, Ask AI, I do believe, is the future of interacting with your CRM. It's the future of interacting with HighLevel, specifically. I just don't think it's ready yet, and I think that they're hyping it. I think there's a reason why it's not yet available on anything except for mobile. If you don't have the AI employee plan, like I said, it's just not ready. But this is pretty cool. Okay, experience a smooth loan process tailored for first-time home buyers with no down payment and credit score starting at 600. Our program open door. This is pretty cool. I mean, the images in here, the headline, the placement, the layout, all of that stuff. Pretty solid. We're not going to get anywhere close to that using the AI agent. If I back out of this and I go to the AI agent and I look at these, I mean, very, very simple. It's all built around this lead magnet. So just be aware that if you're trying to use Ask AI to do this kind of stuff, it's not going to work out that well. But that is not a reflection of the AI feature itself. If you go into the funnel builder, if you go into the email builder, you can use AI there. Just because Ask AI is a little wonky, a little sloppy at this point, does not necessarily mean that all of the AI features are that same way. So I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that. Definitely check out those AI features. As far as Ask AI goes, it's cool in concept. It's going to be really cool. It's not that cool yet. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next updates. The next updates all, like, this is a very AI heavy week. The next updates all revolve around the knowledge base, new ways to save information to the knowledge base. So I don't think FAQs are new. I think that's been there for a while, but we have the web crawler, we have FAQs. You have the ability to just copy and paste text from anywhere on the internet directly into here. So whereas before you had to upload like a text file or upload a PDF, now you have the ability to just copy and paste or type text directly into here. This is huge. Rich text means that you can use, you can create numbered lists. You can create, bulleted lists, that sort of thing. So definitely a huge improvement there, being able to do that, as well as tables, being able to upload a CSV file. So if you have structured data in the form of a CSV file, you can upload those as well. The other update here that I think is personally cooler is that you now have the ability to regularly update the links that you provide the web crawler. So if you provide content on the web crawler, especially if you're using if you guys find a publicly available mortgage resource out there, a lot of the times, like a well-ran site will go back and update their content periodically. So now you can auto refresh the content that you are scraping off of the internet, and do that daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. So same thing, if you have your website and you're managing your website very closely, and you're now, what I don't think that this does is, I don't think that this is going to add new, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd have to play around with this, but I don't think that this is going to add new pages on your website automatically, which would be cool if you're running a blog, being able to just constantly add new blog posts to this. But if you're going back and you're updating the content that's on a specific page, you can set a frequency to consistently update that automatically. And I think that's pretty cool personally. All right, continuing on this AI trend, we have the funnel AI builder. Now, the funnel AI builder has existed. It has been around. I honestly, at one point, I think it kind of disappeared. Maybe they hadn't announced it and I was just getting ahead of myself. I don't know. You can technically build funnels through Ask AI directly. So through again, if we go into here, this little thing up here, you can create funnels through. But now they've brought that into an AI funnel builder. So there's a couple things that you can do in here. When you start out, these are kind of the questions that it asks you. You can customize it further, or after the first page, you can just generate. So I did go through, I defined the tone. I did not define anything in the layout. And I did, investment property financing guide, business niche, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. I hadn't done that yet because I wanted you guys to be able to see how long this takes. While that's going, I'll go ahead and move on to the next update, which is the competitor analysis within the reputation management section. So if you go to reputation inside of your HighLevel account, you go to overview, you have my stats, and now you have this new tab called competitor analysis. With competitor analysis, you can add competitors directly inside of this view. So it looks a little different since I've already added some of these. So if I go ahead and delete one of these, for example, I'll delete total mortgage there so that you guys can see what this looks like. Add competitor. Now, the experience is a little bit wonky. It anchors you to where you are physically. So I physically am in Idaho, so it starts the search there, even though I'm managing this on behalf of my client in Connecticut. So that's a little bit annoying, specifically if you have a centralized marketing account or centralized marketing department that's helping your LOs nationwide. This is going to be a little bit annoying. I expect that to change. But that also means that I can't, because I'm not in Connecticut, I can't go and create, or I can't go and just canvas the area for mortgage companies. And so I had to go out of the actual like app, go to Google Maps and search mortgage companies in Connecticut to find them, and then searched each one independently. So Total Mortgage was one of those, and then it pulls them up nationwide. Now, I don't know, if I limit it to Connecticut, is it going to help? Kind of, except that it's showing me a bunch of other ones as well. Oh, Total Mortgage Services, Total Mortgage Cheshire. Okay, no, that's about what I'm looking for there. So this is cool. You can search like the state to be able to limit that a little bit, which is nice. But then you go ahead and click on one of these. And then you're going to click on add competitor, which is not immediately obvious. You don't just click it down here. So again, kind of just funky UI things that are pretty normal for HighLevel's newest features. So then I come in here and we'll see what the comparisons are. And so this is, polling reputation information. So it's going to show strengths and weaknesses for each of these. It's going to show sentiment heat map, visualize the emotional landscape with our sentiment heat map, revealing the highs and lows of user feelings in real time. A lot of fancy words for basically it's just analyzing the reviews. And then also, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to pull information in here, like from Facebook, TripAdvisor, Trustpilot, anything like that. I don't know if that comes through on the competitor analysis. Maybe that's just not like added yet. I'm not sure. So anyways, kind of cool. Be able to keep track of your competitors and like how they're doing on reviews. So not bad there, but again, not exactly a groundbreaking feature by any means either. All right, the last update that I have for you guys this week is cool in my opinion. The autocomplete for addresses inside of the survey and form builder. This is now completely free and standard inside of HighLevel sub accounts. So whereas before it had to be enabled at the agency level, it was a rebilling feature. This is now completely free to anybody who's using it, which means inside the survey builder or the form builder, if you go and you drag an address into here. Now, I don't believe it's going to do this automatically with your existing address fields. It says updated right here. So I went and dragged the address over to here. Gives me the option to either make it mandatory that they have to select an address in the search bar, or to not do that. And then also the autocomplete, I can turn this off entirely, in which case it just forces them to enter their information there. Okay, so I've got a couple options there. This is what it looks like in real time. If I go in here, punch in an address, okay, then it's just going to populate those fields with that address. And then also, if I come here and I try and submit, let's go here and turn this off. If I try and submit, interesting. Okay, so if I've selected it even once, then it's going to let me submit even if I had that enabled. So that's definitely a bug, but cool feature overall. Those of you guys like a what's my home worth campaign, or some sort of client intake form or something like that, definitely could be cool, could be useful. Open house, like if you want to provide a survey to create open house flyers automatically, that would be another use case where you'd want to make sure that address is standardized every time. So pretty cool for that. That's it, guys. That's it for this week's weekly breakdown. Couple cool features, a huge emphasis on AI, just a little preview at what's coming down the pipeline. Doesn't look like it's going to be as focused on AI. So hopefully we have some other features besides AI next week to go over. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at the top.